and today we're gonna make this beautiful pumpkin custard pie that we decorate in the spirit of Halloween. Let's get started. Our pumpkin pie consists of these beautiful sugar pumpkins that we use. We use 3 eggs, white sugar, light brown sugar, vanilla and maple syrup for yummy, yummy, yummy flavor. A mix of pumpkin spice that has clove, cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little pinch of something extra in there. Half and half, and whole milk. And we also have some marshmallows that we're gonna use at the end to make some beautiful decorations for our pumpkin pie when we're done. So first, we're gonna start by taking this roasted pumpkin. This pumpkin has been quartered, de-seeded, and roasted in the oven with just a little bit of sea salt at 350 for about 1 hour. The process could take up to 90 minutes depending on how tender it is, but you just take your fork, take a look at it, make sure it's fork tender like this is, and we're just gonna scrape out the insides. And this is what you want. You want it to be able to come out very easily like this and just get everything you need. And this is the beginning of our pumpkin puree. If you don't want to do this step, you can buy pumpkin puree in a can. One of my favorite brands is Whole Foods 365 because it's just really good stuff that's nothing but pumpkin. Now, when that's all finished, just going to take a look at our pumpkin. Like I said, it's looking really good. It's nice and soft. It does come off a little stringy, which is okay, because what I'm using for this particular pie recipe is a food processor. Everyone doesn't have a food processor. A blender is really nice, but food processors are really good for custard pies because it'll get nice and smooth. To this pumpkin, we're gonna add 3 beaten eggs, light brown sugar, white sugar, half a cup of each, a tablespoon each of vanilla and maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of pumpkin spice. Inside the pumpkin spice, we have clove, we have nutmeg, we have cinnamon, and and a pinch of ginger, of course. And we're gonna use half a cup of half and half and 3/4 cups of whole milk.
Great.
All of this will get pulsed in the food processor and it will do all the work for us until it's nice and smooth. So now we're just gonna take 2 cups of our pumpkin puree along with all of our sugars, milks, and seasonings and pulse it in the blender. I have a measuring cup here just to make sure I have the right amount of pumpkin. It's 1 cup. 2 cups, which is the perfect amount because these sugar pumpkins give us just what we need for 1 pie. Perfect. Put that to the side. We're going to take our egg mixture. Just pour that right in. Once again, the beauty of the food processors, it does all the work for you. I have my light brown sugar, a half of cup. My white sugar, half a cup. I have my vanilla and my maple syrup in one, poured, a tablespoon of each. We're gonna take 1 tablespoon of our spice mixture. Some people like more. There's nothing wrong with that. Some things are to taste. Your half and half, a half a cup, and your whole milk, 3/4 cup. This makes a rich custard. And we're gonna pulse on low. We don't have to pulse that long. We just want everything to come together and for the batter to be smooth and nice and creamy. I'm gonna check it. Everything's perfect. Nice, beautiful color from our seasonings, our spices, and that maple syrup. So that's it. We'll leave this to the side right now, and then we will roll out our pie dough. The best part about the pie is the pie crust. We have this beautiful pie crust here. It's a homemade pie crust from one of my recipes. If you don't want to make your own pie crust, you don't have to. You can buy a wonderful pie crust already made in the store. They have some beautiful ones out here. This pie crust happens to be 1.5 cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter, and about 6 tablespoons of ice cold water. Everything has to be very cold. Put and pulse into the food processor or by hand, and then you form it together and let it rest. Like I said, this one is already made and we're gonna roll it out. It's good to start with a circle so that we can work quickly and get the shape we need to fill our pie pan. But like I said, if you decide to make your own pie crust, just make sure you let it rest for at least an hour or 2 before you decide to roll it out. You can see all that beautiful butter in there. That's what you want to see. That gives you a light, flaky crust that people love. I'm going to flour that one more time. I'm going to take it, roll it up. We're going to use our pretty festive pie pan here, and we're just going to roll her out. Very simple. I'm going to get rid of some of this excess dough, but I'm just going to press. And it's okay if it starts to tear, because we can add more later. These scraps that we have, we save to use for decorating the top of the pie. We have a beautiful even edge. Then now I'm going to start to crimp. You can crimp with a fork to make little imprints, or you can make little pretty scallops with your fingers. Not quite a pinch, but you just stick your finger in and you go like this. But as I tell people, there's no wrong way to do it, and you can make the pie look any way you want to creatively. For this pie crust that we've already made, we're now going to do something called blind baking. Blind baking is something where we bake the pie crust first for a certain period of time, just to make sure it's not raw or undercooked, more so as it bakes. The custard will bake at a different temperature or a different pace, speed than the pie crust does. So we just like to make sure it's nice and even in cooking. So what you do is, if you were going to blind bake, some people don't want to blind bake, and that's fine. But if you were going to blind bake, you take your parchment paper. Oops. that was the next part. Surprise. You take your parchment paper, you fill it, and these are baking beans. Get it all in there. You can use dry beans for this, any kind of black-eyed peas or whatever. And you bake this for about an hour at 375. That's a blind bake. You take that out, you brush it with egg wash, and then we fill it with our custard. Then it's ready to go. Okay? So let's come back after we've blind baked and see what our next steps are. Now we're going to fill our custard in our pie shell. You may have a little extra left over, it's okay. You can freeze that too. Or you can fill it in little muffin tins and bake it for breakfast. It's all yummy and useful. Now, our finished product goes into the oven at 350 for 55 minutes until it's slightly jiggly in the middle. You don't want it to stay in the oven longer than that. You want the jiggly center, because what's going to happen is as your pie comes out the oven, it's actually still cooking, and we want a nice smooth custard with no cracks, so it'll be fine. So now we have our beautiful custard pie that's out the oven. This one we made a day ahead, just to make sure our custard's set and that it was all perfect. And just look at it. We decorated it with leaves. So now we're gonna decorate it in the spirit of Halloween, and we're gonna put cobwebs made out of marshmallow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some basic campfire marshmallows, just like you make with your s'mores. We're gonna nuke this in the microwave for about 30 seconds, and then we're gonna wait till it gets real stretchy and stretch it over the other side of our pie. Watch. So now we have our marshmallows that have been cooked in the microwave or heated in the microwave for just about 30 seconds. We're gonna let it cool slightly, and then this is where the magic happens. I'm gonna put some gloves on because it is a little hot to handle. And obviously cobwebs are not perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our other side of our pie, and we're gonna take these gooey marshmallows that is still really hot, as you can see. As it cools slightly, see the stretching? We want that on our pie. So much fun. Let me just take a little bit. And that's the beginning of it, so just go with the flow, get dirty, and let's get our cobwebs going. This is perfect. Perfectly messy and fun for the kids. And everyone loves marshmallow. Fun. How much fun is that? And now you have a spooky cobweb pie. So we've just made this beautiful pumpkin custard pie that we decorated for the Halloween season. I hope you guys have fun making it, as much fun as I had making it with you. Please follow me at Style and Sustenance on Instagram for more amazing pie recipes. And I hope to see you guys soon. Happy Halloween.